Alrighty, good evening, good evening. Hope you all are doing great. Hello, Bree. Hello, Amy. Hello, any lurkers. Welcome. Ooh, we are gonna get started tonight. Oh, hey, Emoles. Hey, Emoles. There you go. You got something different than Celine Dion for your little thing there. Hold on one second. Oh wow, that is a lot going on this page. Okay. I had like a million tabs open, guys. Where's it coming from? I'm imagining it in my head. Oh, here it is. You're a wannabe duck. Wannabes. Oh man, I'm so excited for tonight. So excited to just like get into like I was shocked how quickly people sent in questions. And yeah, so you got 35. Yes, you did get us to 35. Let me just double check because I just gotta. You're just a regular rubber duck today. You're just a regular duck. Oh, okay. I got an extra question from Bree, actually. Okay, let me just put it in my list here. Alrighty. We got that going. Yeah, so I was really just kind of like appalled with all your guys' answers. And I mean your questions, like you guys got so many questions in. I was really just sort of taken aback and I was really excited. But first, yeah, so I didn't plan on streaming tonight. And honestly, when I was thinking about doing a little get to know me video, I wasn't even really intending to, at first I wasn't really even intending to do like a stream, but I was thinking about like just doing a, I was just intending to do like a short little clip about me because I know that I've had a few more followers on YouTube and on Instagram. And so I was like, well, maybe I should do a little how-to, like a little about me. And I was just trying really hard to like try and just like figure out like what I would want to focus on, what I would want to share about me, because there's just so many things that I'm excited about and so many things that I feel like is helpful to know about me. And I ended up deciding that I'm sure that there was so much that people could actually contribute. So I just thought I would start with asking questions, and then I just realized, you know what? I'll just make a whole video about it or a whole stream about it. And then as the questions just started piling in so quickly, I was like, I'm just going to do a stream. I'm just going to do a stream tonight because my husband was away and I just like I don't know. I just have energy tonight. And so I got really excited. Yes, I know what you're thinking, Amy. I know what you were thinking. So anyways, so I'm trying to decide where I should begin. So I've got my water with me, and I was kind of going to ask you guys what kind of vibe you wanted. Like, Do we just want like just a chatting stream? Should I like have music in the background? Should I have like a white noise type thing like rain, or like just regular white noise or something in the background? Should I have Nancy Drew music? Should I have like a duck like game up where we see the duck thing? Start with the weather. It has been snowing all day there, Bree. It's been snowing. Okay, so we actually had a pretty warm day here. It rained a little bit, but it was kind of more like a trickling all day. Not really like, but just like a little bit. ND music with ducks too? I can. Soft music. So we'll just like do Nancy Drew music, but we'll just turn it really low and we'll have some ducks. So let me just pull it up. You have 4 inches? Wow. Okay. I don't know. Let's get this pulled up here. Anybody else have crazy weather today? Okay, can I put it on shuffle? Weirdly dirty rain? What even is that? Whoa. Let's turn that down. Okay, we turned it down way low. Do you still even hear it? You're ready for warmer days. It's gotten warmer here. Let me know if the music's too low. I'm gonna start with that. Okay, let me get up our ducks. Okay. That's interesting. I just never heard of that. I mean, I did just like I came from a place that it didn't rain much. It mostly just snowed. So that is kind of just like, oh my gosh, it's asking me to update it. Oh, there's 2 new ducks. Oh, that's out now? Wait, how much is it? Sorry, the people that made the little duck game, the placid plastic duck, they just came out with a new game, and I want to get it, and it just came out, and I want to figure it out. And I don't know how much it costs. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me get, they've got cards all over the place in Celebration too. Okay, so the reason why there's cards all over the place in the game is because they added like a feature where the new game that they made is like card building, like a deck building thing. And so they also added in cards to celebrate too. And I hope to see the 2 new ducks that they have. But I think this is great marketing that they've got here. Anyways, cross-stitching for a bit. What are you cross-stitching? We'll get into the questions in just a second. How is everything looking and sounding? I'm thinking about turning up the music just a little bit. Oh no, then Bree, I need to answer your question right now. Your question. We're gonna just skip. I had like an order and everything. Let's skip it. Let's skip the order and answer Bree's question, which is, let me find it. Bree's question was, what is a big dream that you have for this channel? A big dream. This is something I talked about with Mr. Crafts quite often, actually, because, you know, when you start doing something like this where you like get into streaming and stuff like that, you kind of do have this general dream. And sometimes it does, like, I think it's for, at least for some people, like it's pretty big when it starts off. Like you're just like, oh, I just want like tons of people and I want tons of subscribers and blah, 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 blah. And I think there was a lot of that energy when I got into it. And over time, I think I just kind of valued, I've seen streamers that have like tons of people in the chat. And at that point, it's like, you're so drowned out. What is even the point? These people don't care. I don't want to go to a stream where I chat and there's just like no one talking back at me. It's not like a community. It's not like a family or friendship or anything like that. It's literally just that. And so even if the person is like super entertaining as a streamer, it's like really hard for me to like be committed to it. So I don't want just people who are like, oh, I'll just subscribe to this channel and like just watch it on the side a little bit. Like that's fine if you want to do that. Like you're free to do that. But for me, it's like, I would rather have people who are like, I want to go to her stream. Oh my goodness, like this, like, oh, she's got the schedule. Like I would love to try, and even if I could just get like a few minutes of just like going and being there and just like talking with her for a minute. And yes, I do enjoy entertaining. I that's a part of another question that's in the list for tonight to talk about. But mostly it is just, I guess at this point, like my goal is to get to a point where I have like I don't know, a decent following where there's people who are like loyal and coming to my stream. And like, I just don't want it so clogged that it feels like you're in this sea of people, and it's already hard enough as a chatter on a stream to feel like you're having a conversation with someone because it's a stream, okay? But it's even harder when there's like 50 some odd people there and everyone's chatting at the same time, and you're just kind of like, your voice is so small. So I am looking to be a streamer that has loyal people, that feels like a family, it feels like friendship. And I'm not asking, like, obviously I'm not asking for you to like give me all your secrets and whatever. Like, I'm not talking like that. I'm just saying, like, I want to recognize your name, and I want you to feel welcome. And if you were to ask me in terms of like the dreams, though, I also like, I would like to get to a point where I'm monetized. I'd like to get to a point where I'm monetized. And one of the hardest things is that I chose to do YouTube, and I could get into this quite a bit, I chose to do YouTube because I heard bad things about Twitch. Not saying that Twitch itself is bad, or if you stream on Twitch, you're bad, or if you go watch other people on Twitch, you're bad. I'm not saying any of those things in the slightest. I've heard lots of really bad stories of like things happening, and I aimed to be family friendly, and I just don't want things to happen where, like, even if you're a mom and you don't, and like your kids are not around when you're watching my stream, I still don't want something to accidentally happen around your kids and then feel really bad about it. And it's already hard enough playing games first playthroughs, like I don't even know what's gonna happen in the game, and sometimes it's hard to balance it when you're playing games that you have no idea the maturity level of it. And I do go with the flow. And so sometimes it's just, play by ear, be careful. But yes, I chose to be a YouTube streamer, and I feel like that already makes things so much harder for me. And I've heard some streamers say that it's like really great because like the algorithm or whatnot, or like it's really hard to grow on Twitch. And it's like, is it really though? Because I see so many people like growing on Twitch, and it's not to say that I'm like upset at that or anything like that. It is hard to get to a point of monetization on YouTube. Takes a lot longer and a lot more dedication and a lot more like work in order to get there than, in my opinion, than Twitch. Twitch, you just have to have a certain amount of followers, and then like, and the amount isn't even that big, like it's not even massive, it's just like 50, and I have to have 500. I have to have 500, and I'm at like 153, which is good, but like I've already put a few years in, and to be at 153 is like meh. But I'm not saying that if those things never happen that I would quit. I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna have fun because I've already met all of you, and you guys are so great, and I appreciate you guys so much. And even if you guys were the only people that came and whatnot, and this is where it stayed, I would stay. Okay? Doesn't mean I'm not gonna try to enjoy more people coming in and stuff like that. Oh, thank you guys so much. I'm so happy to have you guys. I really am happy to have you guys. Why does it do that? My camera wigs out a little bit about my color settings, so sometimes it makes me look like I'm like gray all of a sudden. Does anybody notice that? I don't know. Anyways. So there's that. This is a long-term goal. Long-term goals. Yeah. I worked really hard, and now I actually have a space. Even though it's not like how I would dream it to be. Like you see like people on the internet, like they have these like really super fancy like setups. Like I'm still happy with this space, and I made it. I made it with my own 2 hands. I made this with my own 2 hands, and it just like screams me. So I enjoy that. Oh, thank you so much, Brie. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the question. It's such a good question. And I do think that your goals as a streamer, like if you like announce that, it really does tell people what you're really after. And when I say I want to get to monetization, it's not just because I want money. I don't do this for money. Like I said, if it was just you guys, I would stick with you guys. But it is one of those things where if I could get to monetization, it would help me to make better content for you, make more content for you, and to be able to like give you guys something special for like you guys being here with me. It gives me a chance to be like, here's extra content for you. Here's extra fun stuff for you in the same way. So, yeah. Hi, HA Fan Forever. Nice to see you. I actually need to be right back real quick. And take care of a kid issue. I don't even know what's going on. I just hear loud noises coming from bedtime. So, I'm gonna go take care of that. You guys can enjoy this. Let me get the, I don't know why, but the music just suddenly stopped. I'm gonna try and see if I can figure that out. Let me get you guys some music. Oh, yes. Yeah, there is. I mean, if I'm being honest, Bree, yes, that would be nice. It would be really nice to just like, oh, like there's something like literally coming back at me for it, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like even me right now, can I afford to help support my friends who are doing it? Not really. I can't. I don't have the money for it. So it's like, even if I did get to a point of monetization, I'm not expecting much, and I don't want you guys to do it just because. I want you to do it because you can afford it and because you really, really want it and you really, really enjoy the content. Okay. Let me just get this going and take care of whatever seems to be going up with the kids. Yeah, I'm gonna make millions, guys. I'm gonna be so uber famous. I don't want to be that famous. I really, 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 really don't. I don't want that much money, actually. Ever. Ever. Oh my. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. It was quite a doozy. They got thirsty, and so they decided that the best way to get water is, instead of asking me for water, they got all of their little play cups, filled it to the brim, and they dumped water all throughout the hallway, all the way into their room. And I'm quite literally saying there was a pond in their room. So we had to clean it and talk about punishments. So sorry about that, guys. So they've been a little bit curious this week. So they've been getting into some extra big trouble lately. So that's a thing. Quack. That's hilarious. Okay. You gotta laugh at these things, otherwise you won't make it through. Okay. Alright, so since I answered a question about streaming, I'm gonna keep going along that line. So let's start with what made me start streaming. So this is kind of like a long answer, but it's a long answer. I can answer it. It's a Q&A. So basically what it's about is I started streaming when Her Interactive started giving their little hints around April's Fool's Day, and everyone started having, bye Bree, thank you for joining us. So around April Fool's Day, when Her Interactive started dropping their hints about the new game, and people were speculating, and there was lots of streams going on, and people were talking and stuff like that, I was like telling my husband at that time, I was like, oh yeah, can I like watch this stream? Keep in mind, I have not like attended ever a stream, ever before this point. I knew about streams. I knew about them. I never attended a stream. And I was like, hey, you know what? Like, and I was a shy person. I wasn't like an online person at that point. Guys, the amount of things that have changed. But anyways, I was shy, but I wanted to attend, and I was watching, and this was with Kalina and Hugh. He was doing something, and he invited Kalina to talk with him. And I was watching, and he opened it up for questions, and I was like, oh, you know, cool. And my husband's like, do you want to ask a question? And I was like, no, it's okay. Like, I had a question, but I'm going to see if somebody else says it first. And he's like, why don't you just say it? And I know this just sounds so silly. I sound so silly. And I just asked the question. I was the first to ask a question, and they answered it. And I know it's just so silly because it wasn't like I was like this massive thing, but it felt like a massive thing to me. And I felt special. And at that point, I started talking to my husband. I was like, yeah, like I've always loved Nancy Drew, and I never like physically, like, I never really talked about this side of me with my husband at this point. And we'd been married for quite some time, and Nancy Drew was kind of a big thing to me. He knew I liked Nancy Drew, but I didn't know a ton about it. And, you know, I said, you know, it'd be nice, you know, because at that point I was postpartum with my second child. And I was like, you know, it'd just be nice to have like a hobby again and to feel like a person again. And one of the things I've always wanted to do was like stream and stuff like that, because I feel like it was just such a nice little thing. And so he was like, why don't you? I said, you don't just up and start streaming. You don't just go and just start doing something like that. And he was like, yeah, you're nuts. You should just do what you want to do. And so I was like, oh, okay, okay. So I said, but we don't have the equipment. And he's like, who cares? Just do it. And yeah, so he helped me set up our old computer. This kind of ties into one of the other questions. Let me just pull it up here. I think, yeah. So the other question that I'll also touch on in this is my first stream and the first game I streamed. So basically we got out our really old computer that we had that was like junk. It was a literal potato, and we called it the potato at the time. I just started streaming. I think I technically started Shadow at the Water's Edge, but it was too much for my computer. So we switched and we did Alibi and Ashes, and we were able to finally get Alibi and Ashes to work. And I had no video at that time, just audio, and it was like fairly poor audio. And anyways, it was just really wild. And yeah, yes, I think you were, Amy. I think you were. And a few others, and it just kind of like snowballed into a snowball in a good way, like a really good way. So the first game I streamed was Alibi and Ashes, and not very many people were there, but there were a few people there, and I was really happy to even just see like a few people there. And you know, to be honest, you know, not much has changed. Besides like I got like a new computer and I got gear and stuff like that, and that was mostly luck, like either finding things for cheap or someone donating something or, you know, whatnot. And so I do consider myself very lucky. I am very blessed. So there is that. Whew. Is a lot. So yeah, that's what made me start streaming. Technically, I have always been a little bit of an entertainer. I liked to entertain. If you ever get to like meet my sister in person, she could tell you and show you blackmail videos that she has of me, where I would used to perform at home. I would dance to a bunch of songs, and I didn't just dance. I was like making fun of things. I was making silly faces. I was doing funny little things. And so I guess I've always been kind of an entertainer. I was really flamboyant when I was a child. Real big and dramatic. I do think I've calmed down a bit, but I have my moments where I'm a little bit extra, just a little bit. And so I feel like that really just kind of equipped me for streaming, because I feel like it's pretty natural for me to just kind of be like a little bit of an entertainer. Granted, I don't get to practice it like a ton, but I do get to be an entertainer a little bit. So what are 3 streamers I would like to collab with? This is a good question. 3 streamers I would like to collab with. Well, E. Mullins. So E. Mullins is actually in chat. We actually are planning something in the future. I did get to do something with Ginger Honey Love Beat for quite a while. We haven't been able to do anything as of late. So that doesn't really count because I've already collabed with her. I would love to collab with Danny Spotsy Drew, because I would love to tease her the whole time, because we tease each other a lot. And then, yeah. And then, I guess this one's kind of fun. I would like to collab with Story Retold. Are you ready for this? So when I saw this question today, I was like, oh yeah, I think I know how I'd answer that. Those three. I think those are the three that I think about collabing with someday. And Lena reached out to me. It's not really like 100% solid, but she reached out to me, and I didn't say anything to her, by the way, just so you know. She reached out to me about collabing with her on something. So I was really excited to see that. So I'm happy to do it. So there will be something. I can't say much right now, but there will be something. So what is my favorite game that I streamed? This is a really good question. I feel like I love doing first playthroughs. I feel like there's so much that could happen that I'm always on my toes. But I would say that the best one was actually playing Key. And I think there was just so much hype around Key. And I'm not saying that Key was like just this phenomenal game. I loved the game. It was a great game. I obviously had issues with some of the things with it, but overall, Key was like a really great game in my opinion, and I enjoyed it. And on top of that, like there was just so many people that were so excited, and I waited to play Key. I waited to play Key until I knew that a lot of people had already played it. Like I waited, and I avoided streams. Just so that I could play it, and I just so I knew that I could play it, and people would be able to come to the stream because they wouldn't be worried about spoilers. So that was kind of the deal. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people knew what was going to happen in the game before I got to. And so it was just, it made the play interesting. And it was great. It was really, really great. And I gotta say, like, there were some jump scares. And I remember the one particular jump scare with the knight in the tunnels. And so many of you didn't know at the time, but I actually was very early. So I was going through a chemical pregnancy at that time. So if you don't know what that is, you can research that on your own. I was going through a chemical pregnancy, and so I was super emotional. And so like when that jump scare happened, I was literally just like bawling, and I felt like I couldn't stop, and I just couldn't stop. It just kept coming and coming and coming. And I literally felt like I had no control over me. So when that was happening on stream, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get control. I gotta get control over myself. So it was pretty intense. It was pretty intense. But it was fun though. So I would say it's my favorite game that I played because there was just so much fun happening in chat. I think honestly you guys kind of really make it fun for me. I do think that there are some games that like it doesn't matter how many people are there, like I could just play that game and have fun and it would be a fun time. But there are definitely where it's like it is more fun when you guys are there. So for sure. And then last one about like streaming and stuff. What is my favorite part of content creation? This is kind of tricky because I tried for the longest time to do like actual like content creation in terms of like making posts or making videos by themselves. And I gotta just say, I just don't think I'm cut out for that. I think I have so much more fun just streaming and like making videos, editing. I knew what a sponge is, but when I looked at the thing, it didn't look like a sponge to me, so I was just kind of shocked. Okay. Yes. So I just had this like, yep, that was a really good moment during Key. That was a really good moment during Key. But yeah, so if you're asking me about like content, not in terms of like live streams, but like editing and stuff like that, I do love seeing I love the feeling of I just got a really good idea. And I've done a few videos where I like to edit it in a fun way, and I love seeing myself grow. That's a really big one for me, because typically, you know, like I want to be like really good at it, right? I don't want to just, I always want to be better at what I am doing, but there is something that comes out of being able to be like, I did that. Like, I just improved this part of it. Like, I just did a better job at this than previously of what I'm used to. So in terms of things, I would say that. So I would say I love seeing myself grow. I love the final product. I love the feeling of getting a good idea. And yeah, but I mean, really, ideally, I really enjoy just the live streams itself the most. So there we go. We are going to go ahead. I'll just go to the next set of questions, and we'll talk about all of my favorites, because I got a lot of people asking me for favorites, for certain favorites, and we're going to talk about that. So one of the favorites that I was asked is, who is my favorite movie villain? I had to think a long time about this, and I feel like there's a difference between, like, how do I put this? Like, there's a villain, but it's also like the bad guy or something like that. I guess when I hear villain, I think of something like truly evil, like truly, not just like I did something really bad and it hurt someone, and I, like, obviously, like, I'm the enemy of the enemy, the antagonist, okay? But villain just feels even like more like we're thinking Maleficent levels, okay? But I guess, you know, trying to broaden it, I thought a long time about it. I love movies, okay? Favorite movie villain. I think it's gonna have to be the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera. Because he's such a complicated villain. He's a very talented villain. I say this, and I feel for him. I do think that I really do love a story where we can kind of like catch a glimpse of what it's like to be them and why they did what they did. Not to condone what they did. I don't like that. I don't like condoning bad actions just because, but there is something that goes along. Like, obviously we all make mistakes as humans. We all do bad things, and I feel like even if you did something truly evil and horrible, it's not too late for you to turn and make better decisions and be a better person. And I do think that a lot of people who do bad things are actually dealing with something that is really heavy, and like they should be receiving love and care, because I believe that every person is deserving of love. Specifically, I am a Christian, so I believe that everyone is loved by God, loved by the Father, and they deserve to feel that love and to embrace it. And forgiveness, mostly forgiveness if you've done something awful. So I guess that's the reason why I like villains, that we can kind of get a taste of some of the things that they're dealing with and the heartache that they're dealing with and the bad things that have happened to them that kind of like made them got them to this point where they're making these decisions, these poor decisions, obviously very horrible decisions. But anyways, so if you were to ask me, I would say it's the Phantom from the Phantom of the Opera. I really felt his pain in that movie. And I specifically talk about the movie, not like just the musical in general, but like the movie, they did such a great job. I felt for him. And I was emotional, and I was like, I really could feel his pain in it. So that's my favorite movie villain. The next favorite thing is also a movie thing. It's a favorite movie quote. This was even harder to answer than the movie villain thing. This was harder to answer. I'm not going to get any work done. I'm just going to sit here and answer these questions at this point. So my favorite movie quote. Okay. I thought a lot about it. Let me just like prep you. I really love the movie Clue. I really love the movie Jaws. I really love the movies Dante's Peak and Twister. These are ones that I grew up off of. I know that sounds crazy. If you actually seen them, they are adult movies. All of these movies are adult movies. Please don't watch them if you are younger than 13, and make sure you get permission of your parents to be able to watch these movies. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is I watched them before I was 13, and I shouldn't have. But anyways, all that aside, they were ones that I grew up off of. So there's a lot of one-liners. Also, Goonies has a lot of one-liners. Again, adult movie. Please make sure that you get permission before you just watch these things. But the quote itself is hard because there's so many good ones. And I use different quotes at different times. And I think of different quotes at different times. I don't know if I can boil it down to one movie quote. Do you guys have like a favorite movie quote? Because I can't boil it down. I can't boil it down. It's too hard. But if you were to specifically ask me for movie quotes, those are the types of movies that came into my head like immediately, and some of the things that have happened in like Clue, where she goes, flames, flames on the side of my face, breathing, heaving breaths. So that one was a big one. She has a really good voice too for that part. I think of like Dante's Peak when he's like, coffee time, coffee, cappuccino, chava, yes. That was a good moment. Jaws, you're gonna need a bigger boat. Obviously, this line was also quoted in Curse of Blackmore Manor as a little Easter egg. So, anyways, so those are some movie quotes that I think of. The next question is favorite comfort food. Feel free. I feel like this one's a good one, so y'all have no excuse. You can answer this question. What is your favorite comfort food? Okay, so I have 2 levels of this. Makes it sound super complicated, but it's not. So, favorite comfort food. If I am sick, if that's what you mean by comfort food, like I'm not feeling well, I need something like I'm physically ill, I'm going to gravitate towards chicken broth, or I'm going to gravitate towards broccoli and cheddar cheese soup. Those are my sick things. And it's interesting because I didn't even think of just like drinking chicken broth by itself. until I was recovering in the hospital from having one of my children, and someone like offered it, and I didn't have much of an appetite then. And so I was like, oh yeah, I guess it's just chicken broth. That's weird. That's weird. And I gotta say, I was impressed. I was impressed. So, mac and cheese for you. Yeah, that's a good one. I think a lot of people like to say that. But if you're asking me in terms of comfort food, like with the lines of like, you know, maybe I'm just having a rough day. I'm just feeling sad, or I'm feeling whatever. My answer is going to be a sweet. Like, I want a sweet. So I'm going to probably say something like cheesecake. I really, 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 really like cheesecake a lot. I'm also a really big sucker for cinnamon. So if you make something with cinnamon in it, you have won me over forever. Cinnamon. Cinnamon. And then I really love lattes. I really love lattes. So those are it. And on that note, the next question is coffee, tea, cocoa, or cider? Coffee. I'm going to say coffee. I really enjoy me a really good latte. I like to bounce a little bit, and I typically like to, during certain seasons, stick to a certain drink. So like I always get like some sort of like fall feel for fall. And I'm not talking about pumpkin spice. If that's what's available, that's what I'm going to get. But I'm mostly talking about things like, you know, it could be this particular fall I did a pumpkin cheese roll or something like that. Like a pumpkin cheesecake roll or something like that. Like maybe you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I did a latte that was like that. And then obviously in the winter time, you know, peppermint mocha, but I'll typically get something else seasonal along with that. So anyways, I'm a big latte person when it comes to coffee. I want to be better at tea, but I'm just not. And lately I have been adventuring a little bit in coffee. I've been slowly getting myself to drink Americana with just a few pumps of flavoring. Oftentimes I like to try French press at home now. So I do French press coffee, and it's really good. And I'm impressed with how much I really like the French press. So there's that. I feel like that's pretty easy too. Like, do you like coffee, tea, cocoa, or cider? Because I feel like that's a pretty good fair, like, options there. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this one is also really hard. If you could only smell one smell for the rest of your life, like if you just had one scent, you just smell it for the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, if you were to ask me my favorites, I really love musky smells, which is not a favorite of a lot of people. A lot of people hate musky smells because they're just so intense, but I really like musky smells. And I also really, really like warm smells, like cinnamon muffins or donuts or something like that, something sweet, and like fruity, like strawberry or something like that. But if you're asking me in terms of like I have to oh, someone's birthday. If you were to ask me like what I would smell for the rest of my life, I'm just gonna go with straight up vanilla. Let's just do vanilla because vanilla is not that bad. Like it's not super intense. Let's just stick with vanilla. Vanilla. Ducky quack. Ducky quack. Okay. Take a break from the questions for a little bit. I should ask you guys questions, drill you guys about yourselves. Alright, let's take a look here. Let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what I'm working on here. So this is what I'm working on. Hold on a second. This is what I'm working on. I am trying to make some flashcards for my kids with the alphabet. I just got a particular style. I'm going to do like watercolor-esque type thing here. And I could just buy someone who's done this, but I buy like a digital download, but I just didn't feel like it. So, I didn't feel like it. So I decided to just make my own because I have access to Canva Pro. And so we're gonna do it. But we have to have a watercolor duck because that's gonna happen, right? Don't expect anything less. Canva Pro is really fun. Duck. We have to have a duck. Let's do something else though. Okay, let's see here. Something D. That starts with the letter D. I guess I could just do something easy like deer or dog. We'll just do a deer. Let's do a watercolor deer. Which one do I like? I think I like this one the best. Oh, this one's so cute. Look at that little deer. Everybody wants this deer. I need to make sure it fits in the flashcard thing though. Okay. There we go. We did the letter D. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Okay. Try and line it up. Am I a teacher? No, I am not a teacher. I am just a homeschooling mom, so I just homeschool my children. That's a good question, though. And it actually leads me to one of the other questions for tonight that someone asked, which is, let me pull it up. Why do you homeschool? It's a complicated question. I think, so actually my husband, before he was my husband, we were just kind of like talking about, you know, just deal breakers and stuff like that. We were just kind of like getting a feel to just kind of like learn if we were, you know, really compatible. And so one of the things that he ended up saying was that it was a deal breaker that we it was a deal breaker that we ended up homeschooling the kids if we got married. And I was like, what? I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. This is so daunting. This is so scary. But I was determined to marry this guy. So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I can homeschool the kids. Just didn't even think about it. So yes, have there been times that I have been super overwhelmed with the concept of homeschooling? 1000%. But thankfully we do have a lot of resources out there. And as we slowly got married, as we got married and started having kids, we started realizing that a lot of people are opting to homeschool these days. So there's a lot of, there are a lot of resources out there. That's the word I'm trying to get at. There's a lot of resources out there. And obviously now that I have like Canva Pro, I can just make these cute little watercolor alphabet flashcards. He wanted the homeschooling. That's right. Hey, Kalina, we're answering questions. We're answering why am I homeschooling? So that's what we're answering right now. And I'm trying my best. Obviously, so just to like put this out there, like, yes, like, there are some things that are happening like in schools that are very dramatic right now. There are a lot of teachers that are kind of they're tired of the way that public school is going these days. You can say the kids, you can say the way the curriculum is, you can say the other teachers or the principals or whatever, like blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna get into like a bunch of details. I'm not gonna go there because I feel like it can get very controversial. I agree with some of the things, and so more and more so there has been a bigger incentive for us to make sure that we homeschool. And it's just also a great way, like I hear a lot of people talk about, like it's just such a great way to actually spend time with your kids and learn about your kids and give them teaching that works with them. Because it's one thing to be like, oh, you know, like you know, they go to school and they just get basic education. It's another thing to be like, you know what, this is how my child learns, like they're auditorial or they're more visual learners. I can accommodate that. So we went to a private school with a certain teacher I figured out when I was older. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So we're happy to homeschool for a lot of reasons. And maybe sometime I can like really get into that. But it can be quite complicated, and for some people it can be quite controversial. Just like, I'm not saying that public school in a lot of senses I don't think it's like evil. You know, I know that a lot of people feel like that is their only option, and it may just possibly be their only option. But I do consider myself blessed that we get to homeschool. I have recently learned that I have recently learned that my second eldest doesn't know her letters as much as I thought she did. So that's why we are here making little flashcards, because I was like, oh my heavens. I did like a little assessment and I was like, I didn't realize how behind we are. We are going to work on this. So thankfully we got some extra games and books. So yeah, that is a common concern of homeschooling, is these social skills. Okay, so this is something that a lot of people talk about. One, I'm gonna do it the easy way with you when I explain this. We are so into the point of a lot of people migrating to do the homeschooling movement that, in my opinion, there is no reason why a kid cannot develop social skills. And like the social skills doesn't have to happen in a classroom. It can happen at a park. It can happen at the library, which is where my kids meet a lot of other kids right now, because we go to the library pretty regularly. And that's, it's good. Also, second little note here, in terms of the whole social skills thing, I believe that kids can actually develop better social skills with their parents than with other kids, because they're around adults. Adults just have a better way of understanding how social skills work. They just know how it works. They know how to interact, and kids don't. So kids being surrounded by other kids that don't also know how to develop social skills, they're not growing that much. And if they are, when they are growing, it's very slow. It's slower than if a child was able to be at home and they develop social skills with their parents who already have developed their social skills fully. So that is tricky. But also in terms of social skills, I also I hear that bullying is really, really bad, and I definitely don't want my kids to be bullied. So those are all some pretty good points on it. Here's something random. Do you have a favorite Disney animated movie? Do I have a favorite? It's a toughie. I do think my childhood favorite was Finding Nemo. And so I think I'm going to stick hard with that, Finding Nemo. So I really like that. What is yours? What is your favorite Disney animated movie? I don't have any new ones that I'm like really keen on. And there's there's homeschool co-ops, Sunday schools if you go to church, which my kids do, so yes. Horse. It's a horse. Yeah. Let's look at the next question real quick. I hope everyone's doing good. If you have more questions, feel free to just keep chatting them. I am going through like a list. So let's see. What is one skill you are working on? That's another really long and complicated one for me. What is one skill that I'm working on? It is going to be, it depends on like what section, because I feel like there's a lot of different areas of my life where I'm like trying to develop. So one skill that I'm working on, I don't know if you would call this a skill so much as like discipline. I'm working on discipline, being disciplined and getting stuff done when they needed to be done. I am working hard to I'm working hard to, like, I want to read more books this year. So I'm trying my best to be disciplined and being able to read my books regularly. Yeah, so there's that. And then, in terms of other things, sorry. Speaking of I'm trying to get this just right. I'm a crafter, so yeah. I guess you guys should know. I am a streamer. I stream on YouTube, I play games. I am a mom to 3, a wife. I homeschool my children. I love to read. I love to knit and crochet. So I'm big on crafting, hence ND Crafts on Instagram. So you should know all of those things about me. I'm also a Christian. So if you're asking me what skills I'm working on, I am working on, in crafting, I'm working on designing my own patterns. Many of you know that I was able to design the romance novel sweater, which is based off of Charlena Purcell in Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, so I am working on that. And then I am also like, I'm working on patience with my children. Does that count? Does that count? I'm improving. I'm pretty sure. What's another thing that starts with the letter I that would be good for kids? Iguana? Is that too hard? What other skills am I working on? I am working on my social media skills. I'm still working on that. Igloo? I thought so. Yeah, it does, because I'm trying to also focus on the sounds that we're teaching. I. So igloo works. Hey, Casey. How you doing? We should do this. We'll do igloo. Good thinking. We'll do igloo. Let me get this going. We are currently talking about skills. People ask me skills that I'm working on. So yeah, making my own patterns. I am currently designing the Holt Scotto sweater, the Holt Scotto design. Let me pull it out here. I've got a big goal to finish it by June. And this is how much I've done so far. It's one panel of the sweater. And I'll see if I can get those details up for you. That's the middle panel. There's that. So that's what I'm working on. Other skills that I'm working on. Yeah. I think that's pretty much what I've been working on this year. Balancing a lot, because a lot of people are like, you know, you're homeschooling, you're home with 3 kids underneath, you know, the age of 6, and you are also streaming and you're editing on the side, and your husband works from home, and you know, so how are you balancing everything? And I'm like, I have no clue. Just kidding. I do think that I work really hard to practice utilizing my time well. those are the skills that I have been working on. And I obviously, like, we all are working on something. Yeah, it is a mom's secret, just surviving as best as we can. Feels like it. Do you know how long I've been trying to potty train my second? Guess how long it's been. Been trying so hard. We've honestly been going through a lot. We've been going through a lot. We when we moved to the state, we moved into my husband's parents' house, so my in-laws. And at the time we weren't even in a home. We were in like this cabin, and it was like the middle of summer, and I was just early pregnant, and that was a little bit of a surprise there. So early pregnant, and it was a lot. And then we were there for much longer than we had anticipated. We were there for over a year and a half, and it really, like, and they're great people, but it did definitely, like, it took a toll on our family. It took a toll on our marriage. It took a toll on me, especially. My husband was very concerned about me the whole time, because he was like, you guys are, he was like, you're carrying a lot, and it shows. Like, he's like, it shows how much you're carrying. Like, you are very, 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 very stressed. And so at the time, of course, I wasn't doing any streaming, so that was a big help. So I was not focusing too much on content creation, because I just couldn't. It was just too much, and I didn't have any space for a streaming setup at the time. But anyways, we were trying potty training, but because I felt like I needed to start, because I was afraid that if I started too late, that it was going to end up being too late. Not that it's ever too late. Like, you can always still, like, do potty training, but it is harder the longer that you wait it out, at least in my experience. And so I was worried, so I tried, and 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 it just always felt like we would be good for like a few days, and then it would just immediately regress. Good for a few days, immediately regress. And I was so stressed out about it, and you know, that my in-laws had such nice furniture that I was so stressed out about, like, you know, an accident happening and then just like everything being ruined. And so I felt really, 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 really stressed out the whole time. So I think my children were also eating up that stress, and so I think that was affecting the potty training thing. So yeah, we've been trying to potty train over a year now, and we're still struggling on that part. It's a hard one. I'm actually like just like on the brink of like seeing a professional. So yeah, that's how bad it is. Okay, cool. Let's go something cheery. Try to go through something cheery. What childhood toy or game would you bring back, and why? As does everyone, Kalina. Everyone wants ice cubes and not their real dinner. Have a good evening. You have fun with your kids. I think a childhood game that I would bring back is actually, I played Barbie Horse Adventures, and specifically Xbox. It was like an X. Let me see if I can pull this up. Hold on a second. Barbie Horse Adventures. I had it on Xbox, and I played it all the time. And I don't think they make this game they don't make this game anymore for Xbox. And it's specifically Xbox. It was amazing. It was called Wild Horse Rescue. Wild Horse Rescue is what it was called on Xbox. And it was just something I was so obsessed with when I was a kid. And I actually went through a lot of stuff as a kid. If any of you know, like, my history, I really struggled with a lot of different things. And here, let me show you. And this was like the game that I always played. This is the game I always played. as a kid, when I was anxious and I felt, you know, like a lot of different things, this is what I played. And so if I could bring that back, I would bring that back. That's what I would bring back. So that's what I would bring back on that sense. It was so peaceful. It was so much fun. It was so cute. And it had a really good soundtrack. I mean, I'm honestly, like, it's a Barbie movie. It had a good soundtrack. It was a Barbie game and it had a good soundtrack. It was great. Next, what object had the most sentimental value and why? This is hard because I thought about this for a long time. This one's a really hard one. I don't even know what to say. I don't, like, let me just say, like, I don't have, it's weird because when I talk about sentimental stuff, I think deep down inside, I'm a little bit of a sap, but I don't let on as much as it is. I have, let's see. I might just have to go get it. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna show you guys what I have that is of sentimental value to me. I don't have much from like my childhood, and there's not really, I'm not very sentimental of my childhood. Because, you know, it just, there was a lot of stuff going on when I was a kid that was just really hard. So I don't really like cling on to my childhood that much. Let me show you what of like kind of my current thing, like a sentimental value of my like current life. Let me go get it. Okay, so here's what I have. Okay, so I don't have very much sentimental stuff from when I was growing up that I'm like super attached to. I do have something that's more of my current life that is going to be a sentimental value, already a sentimental value. So, in college, I had met a boy. I met a boy, and it just so happened that he was just a friend. He's just a friend, and I got really I don't know, I just got really, really, really close to him. And one summer he went away to India. Okay, and while he was in India, I had suddenly realized that I was in love with him while he was away. And he came back, and he got back at like midnight or something like that. And I waited for him. I was standing right at his house, waiting for him, his place. And to just say, welcome back. And he hugged me. And that hug was different. It was different. And it was special. And he gave me this little white elephant from India. Okay? It's made of like leftover from, can't believe I forgot it, but it's this very special white elephant. Okay, so that is of sentimental value to me because that's when I really knew I was in love with him. And then very recently, like we've been married for several years now, he went back to India again for another trip. And he came back with a bigger one for me to match my little one. And so now these are like forever, like just these things that just remind me how much I love him. So yes, I married him, by the way. He was the boy that I married. He's the man that I married. So there you go. Now you know a little bit about me, about us. So cheesy. I'm a cheesy little thing. Okay. Alright, let's do the ifs. If you could, if you could, if you coulds. There's a lot of if you coulds. If you could travel to any country, what would it be and why? Okay, I'm gonna say France. I've been learning French. I am highly interested in the culture. So France. That's my answer. Sticking to it. I want to eat a croissant there. If you could have any job in the world and make a good salary, what would you do? This is what I would do. I would play games with you all. I would chat with you all. I would be a streamer. And if it made a good salary, heck yeah, I would do this all the time. If I could. I have children, and so, of course, my children are my absolute #1 priority in my life. So they are going to trump everything. And even if I made a good salary off of streaming, it does not mean that I would ignore the fact that I have a family. So, but if, you know, if I could, that would be it. It'd be that. Okay, next one. If you could go on vacation to any Nancy Drew game location for free, where would you go? This one was harder for me to come up with. I thought a long and hard about this, and I don't know. I guess I would say Sea of Darkness. I think it was just such a pretty place. It was not super crowded. That like there wasn't very many people there, and for some reason I feel like I've just been around my kids so much that I honestly kind of I crave a little bit of just alone time. Just me, myself, and I alone on a vacation. I feel like I could really use that. That's my Nancy Drew game location vacation. Nancy Drew game location vacation. If you could write an indie game, what would it be about? Amy, I know this is your question. This was hard because I feel like there's so many things that go into a Nancy Drew game that it would be hard for me to like say, this is exactly what it would be. I'll tell you some of the elements that I thought of. I want Bess and George to be there. I want Ned and Nancy as a strong couple. I'm tired of the Ned-Nancy drama. I'm honestly, genuinely tired of the relationship drama. I do not want to talk about Frank and Nancy anymore. I don't want it anymore. I just want Ned and Nancy to just have a normal relationship. I get that she travels a lot. I get that there's, you know, because of what Her Interactive team did with the games, now there's just going to be this forever like dichotomy, I guess you could say, and it's always going to be like, well, Nancy's always traveling, she never sees her boyfriend Ned, and it's like, I get it, there's like a sense of reality that's been suspended, but because Her Interactive drew attention to this reality suspension, now it is no longer a thing where it's just like we kind of overlook it. Now it's something that has to be a part of the game, and this drama has to be a part of the games. It's something I really wish that the Her Interactive team didn't do. I just don't want it. I don't want it. I get why they do it. There are a lot of people who want that drama. I'm not that person. I don't like it, and it kind of spoils the game for me. I'm just tired of the relationship drama. I came for a mystery. I want to get in and get out with a mystery. So that is my like hot take. But anyways, Ned and Nancy would be in a good relationship with each other. if I could write a Nancy Drew game, it would also, I honestly kind of feel like it would be cool if we could have a recurring, like if we could go to a recurring villain again. I feel like that would be fun. Or a recurring location. So if we could go back and go to a location we've been before and there's more things happening, I feel like that would be kind of cool. Now we would have to have more areas to explore. I know that this, like, again, this is just my dream Nancy Drew game. This is not a like practical level of it, because you'd probably be like, well, we just explored all this place, there's nothing else to see. Well, obviously, like, that there would have to be changes, right? There'd have to be new spots in the location. Like if we went back to Shadow at the Water's Edge, there has to be other places that we can go, just different things like that. So that's an example. I do love me a good murder. I know that when they do a murder though, that it can automatically kind of like bump up that rating. And I know that in the past they've always been rated E to E10. I know that with Mystery of the Seven Keys, I think they were starting to get to that line where they may be like going towards an older audience. So I don't know, but I do like a murder mystery. So all right. If you had to swap lives with a fictional character for a week, who would it be? Swap lives. So it's not just like I'm like swapping my life with them for a whole week. I mean, it'd be cool to be in a Nancy Drew thing. I really do think it would be cool. But I'm trying to see if there's just any other like thing that I would really, really, really want to do. I know that I really love Peter Pan, like the story of Peter Pan, so I feel like it would be really cool to go to Neverland for a week. Okay, are you ready for this? Y'all might think I'm a little bit bonkers. Well, maybe not, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So basically, I do write also on the side. And I am currently writing a story called Cloudbot Island, and it is a mystery / thriller. And it takes place on this like island that is also like a theme park resort type deal. Think Dread Isle, but more like a roller coastery type thing. Like it's a resort with roller coasters and thrill rides and bumper cars and that type of thing. So, you know, like Disney with Dread Isle. Okay? So that and there's a mystery involved. I won't get into that, but I feel like I would really, really, really love for a week to be my fictional character on Cloudbot Island. Because there is, I feel like it would just be so good, because this is a location, something that I have imagined in my own head, and I would just so love to see it come to life. So that is my answer. That's who I would be for a week. I would be my main character, Hazel, on Cloudbot Island. Okay. The next question. We're going to plow through this because we're already so late on things a little bit. We're having fun though. The next question is, if ducks could stream, what games would they play? This game maybe? If ducks could stream, I think they would stream a game where they have to torture geese. And the reason why is because geese are always bullies to ducks in real life. Like, I've seen it happen. Like, I went to feed ducks one time, and these geese were mean and bullied the ducks and took away the things that I gave them to eat. So geese are really mean. And so I feel like ducks would really enjoy playing a game where they got to just pick on the geese for a minute. So there. Haha. Okay. What's your favorite piece of streaming advice you've gotten? That's a tough one. That is a toughie. Biggest piece of streaming advice. I think do it, like, stream, even if, like, you're not, like, you know, like, you're not, like, you don't have, like, a big following. Still stream. Even if you don't have, like, all the equipment, still stream. I guess that's what I would say. I would say just, like, just keep at it. That's the best piece of advice that I could give is just keep doing it, because you're not going to learn sitting there waiting for you to, like, get the nicest computer or have, like a great camera or whatever. You learn by doing it even if you don't have those things. And then once you're able to, like, you can. And really, people don't want to go to a stream just because it's fancy. They want to go to a stream because they are having fun and being entertained and they're with people. Okay, next question. If Bess the puppy, my puppy Bess, could text, what would she say? Feed me, give me more food, treats. Why can't I chew on more crayons? That's what she would say. Why can't I chew on the kids' crayons? That's what she would say. Why? Why, Mom? Why? Let's go into the why questions. I have a lot of why questions. Why all the ducks? Honestly, like, I didn't think I would be obsessed with ducks. Like, it wasn't just something, like, well, I guess you could say I did wake up one day and just say, like, rubber ducks are cool. I love them. I think what happened is I was looking at getting some cute clothes for my kids, and I saw some, like, cute, like, rubber duck type deals, and I immediately fell in love. I thought it was the cutest thing on earth, and then immediately I just kind of, like, just got sucked into ducks. I just was, like, obsessed with ducks. I just hyper fixated on them, and to the point that I got this cute little game, and like, I have lots of ducks. Like, I have, like, a whole box on top of the bookshelf over there that's just filled with ducks. And I even have, like, mini ducks over here. Let me show you. And my kids are also obsessed with ducks now. So I've got these, like, this jar of, like, little mini ducks. Have I seen VeggieTales, King George, and the Ducky? Yes, I have. Yes, I absolutely have. Okay, the next question is, why do you hate Toby? So I know who sent this. Danny, you sent this. I know you're probably... Yeah, she's not here right now. She had to leave because she wasn't feeling well, I think. But why do I hate Toby? So we got into I was at her stream one day, and we ended up on the topic of Spider-Man and talking about which Spider-Man we liked the best. And I had revealed that my favorite was definitely not Toby. And so then it just kind of became this thing where, like, I hate Toby, apparently. I don't hate Toby. We're just fooling around. I don't know. It just happened. And so now I just hate Toby. So there you go. I hate Toby. Why do you want me banned? That's Danny too. And that was a joke from one of the times that I streamed, and we joked about banning her. So again, those were a few inside jokes. Sorry guys. But yeah. And can you guess who sent this one in? Are you ready? Why did you marry such an ugly weirdo when you are so attractive and amazing? Any guesses on who sent that? My lovely husband. My lovely husband sent that one. He's not an ugly weirdo. He is a weirdo. He's not an ugly weirdo. Okay. And then another friend, E. Mullins. How are you so amazing? Actually, I'll tell you exactly what I do. I take 3 full tablespoons of hot sauce every night. No, I do not. Do not. But if I did, do you think that would make me amazing? Okay. All right. Now, I have some people asking me yarn questions, like knitting questions and stuff. Do you have a favorite pattern? I have a pattern that I'm obsessed with right now. Let me see if I can find it. Is it... It's gotta be somewhere. Obviously. I just don't remember where. Maybe, let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. This is the pattern that I'm kind of obsessed with right now. Genuinely, I feel like I should just say that my favorite is probably going to be, the ones that I've made, but, I feel like I could do better. So, let's see. Whoops. Here we go. Here we go. So this is the one that I'm obsessed with right now. It's called the Hijburst Granny Square blanket. I want to make this. I have to buy a lot of yarn in order for me to make it, but this is the one that I'm obsessed with as of late. So that is that. I made a list of all the yarns that I have to get, and I'm getting, like, usually when I do a pattern, I usually just try and use leftover yarn that I already have. But for this one, I'm so obsessed with the way that this one turned out that I really just want the actual yarn that she used, every single color. So that's kind of what I'm obsessed about. Favorite yarn to work with so far? I really like thin, dainty yarns. I don't know why. I feel so good with, like, the thin, dainty yarns where I just, like, very meticulously do stuff. That's my answer. Whew. Okay, we're almost done. We've got 2 more questions, and then we'll say goodnight. What is your go-to Bible verse when you need to pull one off the top of your head? Well, I know Psalm 23, all of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So I have memorized Psalm 23, And that is, since I deal with a lot of anxiety, this particular passage gives me so much peace. And so I quote this one a lot, and whenever I feel anxiety, I just start saying it out loud. And like, honestly, like, saying it out loud just kind of like, just repeatedly, like, it just soothes me. Whether you could say it's just the act of memorizing something and saying something, but I genuinely think that. So and then another thing is, I know 2 Timothy 1:7 or 4:7. That's our family verse, and it's for we do not have a spirit of fear. Oh, for where is it? 2 Timothy, you do love 2 Timothy 1:7. I'm just gonna pull it up. It's our family verse. My husband actually decided this should be our family verse. We prayed about it, and this is what he decided, because he just knows me. He knows what he knows. When you know, you know. Okay, so 2 Timothy 1:7. 2 Timothy, oh, it's 4:7. Whoops, nope, that's chapter 2. 1:7. It is 1:7. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. So, yes, that is our family verse. So there's that. And our final question for tonight. Do you have any favorite recipes? Okay, so in our house, we eat a lot of shepherd's pie. It's got potato, it's got a meat, it's got veggies. Done. Like, it just kind of like, it does it. So, it does it all. I loved it, but like, if you're asking me for something like special or different, I'm gonna say Irish coddle, and zuppa toscana. So those are my answers. Zuppa and zuppa toscana, which is from Olive Garden, and then Irish coddle, which is something a little bit different, a little bit out there. I really like that. So, well, did I answer everything? Heavens to Betsy, that was a lot of questions. Did I answer it all? I'm gonna fall asleep. Drink some more water real quick. Let me double check that I got all the questions. Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't do... Okay, so do I think there will be a game 35? Yes. I don't think it'll be soon, though. I think there will be one. I think it'll just take a really long time. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot going on, considering what's going on with, like, the, like, talk about, you know, the CEO not being the CEO anymore and possibly getting a new CEO. Is this the end? Is this the end? I don't think it's that dramatic. I don't think it's the end. If it's the end, we won't, I don't think we will know for some time. I am a little bit, like, I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I would say surprised or disappointed or anything, But it does make me think about the fact that they haven't said anything publicly yet. So I don't know. I don't know. They're still doing the contests, right? So they just pulled up like voting for their Valentines. I'm voting on it now. Thought there would be something new when they had the interns, and Mel did bring the live streams back for a bit. Yeah. I don't know if I felt the same way. I think when we got the new interns, I wasn't sure how long it was gonna, like, the hype was gonna last or whatever. I honestly did not think that they would ever make an announcement that quickly on a new game per se. So I'm trying to decide. I'm looking at the Valentine's things now. I don't know. I really like number 3. I'm gonna go with vote number 3. Ooh, handcrafted. I'm excited to see the handcrafted ones. Cute. Whoa, that one's really good. Handcrafted Valentines. Like to see completely new behind the scenes stuff, but the fans' designs are pretty cool. Yeah. I'm trying to decide. So, okay. I mean, okay, I think I'm voting this one. That one was really amazing. Okay, I voted. Don't forget to vote. Okay, so I got that. I did that. What is this? Okay. All right. Okay. We are gonna... I'm gonna hop off. If you haven't voted on the Valentine's Day thing, you should. You should. And I just really appreciated getting to know you guys so well, and I hope that this was a very helpful stream for you to kind of get to know me more. And of course, those who haven't gotten to be here at the live stream, you'll still get to access all of this stuff. And of course, I'll even be probably making some clips from tonight, so that you can still see some of those things. I want to remind everyone that that let's see. I want to remind everyone that this weekend on Friday, I'm having my first all-day stream. Yay! And I'm going to be streaming Avatar: The Last Airbender, Quest for Balance, and I have a special treat for you. And actually, tomorrow you are going to get a sneak peek of it. If you are keeping up on my socials, I will show you a sneak peek on what I am doing for that so special for the stream. And so I'm super, 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 super pumped about it. You have no idea. I'm so pumped. And I'm trying to say, let's see. I wanted to also tell you I am actually celebrating. I finally got 100 videos total on YouTube. It only took me several years of work, but I made it. I did 100 videos. I did 100 videos. And so I'm super excited and I'm super happy about that. And maybe I'll do a little something for that too at some point. Yeah, so here's to many, many more. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. And I'm so glad I got to answer a lot of your guys' questions. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. That's it. All right. Bye.